Hi, Kate Crouch here again for Embodied Engagement. And today we're in the Linda M. Frost Gallery in our collection called Love Letters, which is a collection of Indigenous work. And there's a wonderful reciprocity that's happening in this space right now. All of our guests, you included, are able to write a love letter to all of the pieces, which is a wonderful way of both acknowledging and thanking the artists. The artist that we're looking at today is Lillian Pitt. And Lillian is from the Warm Springs, Wasco, and Yakima tribes. And as we acknowledge these individuals, we are also going to acknowledge the land that we're standing on. The ma'am has constructed a land acknowledgement that I'm going to read now. Ma'am sits on the ancestral territories of the Salish and Pend Oreille peoples, and we respect the indigenous stewards of this land. Ma'am acknowledges their rich cultures is fundamental to artistic life in Montana and to the work of Missoula Art Museum. Lillian Pitt's work that we're looking at today is called Gorge Spirits Floating 2. And you can see already the images that are reminiscent of the pictographs and the petroglyphs from the Columbia River Valley. So go ahead and take a moment and just notice what shows up for you first. I've experienced Pitt's work before, and I'm continuously drawn to this shape and image. So for you, see what really begins to bubble to the surface. Allowing yourself to let, just like this little dreamscape to me, see the images floating towards you. Lillian asked her elders if it was okay with them for her to use these images, her ancestral images, in the artwork. And their response was, absolutely. We need to be showing that our culture has not dissipated, but is still thriving after tens of thousands of years. Our embodied engagement today is going to center around ancestry. For myself, this is a pretty tumultuous topic. I don't have ancestors to ask permission for making art. I don't have a lineage that I know of that I can track back and see things that have been continually brought up. As we start to think about your connection to ancestry, just take a moment, maybe close the eyes, and a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth if it's comfortable. When I say the word ancestor, notice what comes up for you. As I mentioned personally, it's a bit of a struggle to reach and latch on to. For others, it's an easier step to make. Take a moment to visually go through the catalog of images that you grew up with. If you think about yourself as a 5-year-old, What is an image that feels like it pops to the surface? If that seems too far back, maybe 10. When you were a child, and let that sensation of connection start to well. It's now known that we carry DNA patterns in our bodies from our ancestors, even those we didn't know. So as you start to settle into this idea of working your way back through memory, begin to develop a heaviness in the feet. See if you can allow your body to get heavy enough that it feels like it's sinking down into the ground below you. We've already acknowledged that I'm standing on traditional land of the Salish and the Pend d'Oreille. Take a moment to think about the peoples that have lived and walked on the land that you're on right now. And if you don't know, this is a great opportunity to do a little research. See if you can feel the ground beneath your feet, beneath your body. Starting to recognize all of the other footsteps that have taken place there. Try and travel further back in time. Using your imagination, just as I had invited you to have the images from your childhood start to pop to the screen of the mind. See if you notice any other images that begin to float, like Lillian's work, as if you're traveling through a dreamscape. Perhaps it's a hot sun on a summer day, or the brush of the clouds across the sky. Maybe you start to hear music, or just the pattern of the river. Ancestors have traveled all over the globe. Take a moment to see if you can continue to sink back. Again, allowing your imagination to pull you back in time. Perhaps your ancestors came from the British Islands or Africa, north, south, east, or west coasts. Imagining that you're stepping back in time into their footsteps. There's been quite a bit of traveling. Maybe feel in your body that movement across oceans, over mountains. Take another deep breath, noticing what you maybe smell. Hot pine needles, or an ocean spray. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes and we'll again look at the images of Lillian's work. Seeing the sun and birds. In what way are you able to connect with this? What dreamscape did you come up with? So this image that I'm continually drawn to is She Who Watches. And from Lillian's website, I'm going to read the story. It's very brief. And so Coyote, the trickster, came down the river to the village and asked the people if they were living well. And they said, "Yes, we are. But you need to talk to our chief. She lives up in the hill." So Coyote pranced up the hill and asked the chief if she was a good chief or one of those evil doers. She said, "No, my people live well. We have lots of salmon, venison, berries, roots, good houses. Why do you ask?" And Coyote said, "Changes are going to happen. How will you watch over your people?" And she didn't know. And it was at that time that Coyote changed her into a rock to watch her people forever. So this image of She Who Watches is a pictograph above the ancestral lands of Lillian Pitt. It has this wonderful, to me, and a motherly feeling. And it makes me feel safe. And even though this is not my hereditary ancestry, there's a connection that I feel to it. Take another moment and see where on Lillian's print here you feel connection. Again, closing the eyes, and we'll just take the hand onto the heart. Feeling all those sensations that bubbled up, that traveling back in time, the walking through time over fields, whatever landscape you came up with. And take your time here to thank your own ancestors for whatever it was that they did brought you here right now. I hope that you enjoyed the past few moments. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.